You don't know when you're not going to see somebody again, or you don't know whether that connection is going to lead to anything else or how that's going to affect the rest of their life, you know?
Yeah.
And I would hope to leave a legacy of people that I've interacted with, leaving a good, positive experience and memory with them.
You have a new project, Dota Dragon's Blood, that just came out on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm season 2 and 3, and I play Lena, who's the Princess of Fire, and it's written by Ashley Miller, who's incredible. He wrote X-Men and Thor, and he's created this amazing world that the fantastic Yuri Lowenthal is the lead on. And yeah, that was fun. Meredith Lane cast it. She's wonderful to work with. And I had a good fun time doing that. It's a great character. Laura Pulver plays the lead female in that, and she's also a Brit. So it was a great project and a fun time to do, and my character just rages fire across everything, which which was fun.
So typecast again.
Apparently I have that. Yeah, a bit different to Evie, but it's just fun.
You also have another anime project out on CrunchyRoll.
Yes, FreakAngels. That's based on a comic book by Warren Ellis, who wrote Castlevania as well. Yeah, it's really cool it's actually based on the book called The Midwit Cuckoos, which was this like original sci-fi book in England in like a little town where all these women were getting pregnant and they didn't know how. And then these freak angels were being born, and they had these, eyes and magical powers, and they could do all this stuff. So it's like a progression of that. He's made into these awesome comics called FreakAngels, and then CrunchyRolls now made it into an anime.
So tell us about your character on that one.
She's called Kate, and she's like the self-approved cop of Whitechapel. So she tries to order everyone, but they're all freak angels, so it's kind of a pointless task. None of them listen. But she tries to get the order and be the cop of
the law bearer.
Yeah, out of the 12 of them, she kind of tries to be the law bearer. That's a good way of putting it.
Do you feel like there's elements of that in your personality?
Oh, for God, yeah, for sure. I try, not often listened to, but I try. Yeah, probably.
So you work on a lot of different types of projects, different styles of projects, from anime to video games. Do you have one that you like the most?
Well, I would say a goal of mine is to sing on a kids' animation. That's really where I would like to be, because I trained as a singer in musical theatre.
Oh.
But the thing is, I have this husky voice, and a lot of the female characters in kids' animation are up there.
And bright.
Yeah, so actually I go in for a lot of young boys. So that's kind of where I've been having lots of success and kind of callbacks. And yeah, so we'll see what the future holds with that. I feel I like what Tara Strong is doing and those types of people and I think that could be where I land with that world.
What specifically?
Just with like a young boy character in a kid's animation. So we'll see. That's kind of what I would like to do. I'm enjoying going up for animation. I love adult animation as well. I think I'm probably at a place where I'm understanding where my skills are and then where my desires are.
Yeah.
When I first started as an actor, it was just all about my desires. And I think it's important to go after that, because usually your skills will be drawn to what you love doing.
To continue to develop skills because you're passionate.
Yeah, and now I know, like, I have a lot of experience in video games, but personally I'm trying to step away from the violence of that, because it doesn't align with what I want personally to be working on.
Yeah.
So,
and let's talk about that, because I think it's such an interesting, video games get a lot of heat for the violence in video games. But, I know lots of people that also play games that are the nicest, most peaceful people in the real world. And I'm like, oh, but you play that game? Wow.
Yeah. And I think also, like, I think there's a kind of a stereotype towards video games that they are all violent, people that don't play them.
Yeah.
And, I've had the great fortune of working on Fortnite Save the World, and that's, just fun, and Crash Bandicoot Team Racer, things like that are more what I would say animated video games. They lend itself to more kind of fun and not towards the violent side of things.
Yeah.
But I think...
blaster.
Yeah, that...
Actual.
Yeah, and there's a lot of storytelling, there's a lot of fun kind of stories that are not gruesome or violent that people enjoy playing, and it's still a big realm of escapism, right? So, yeah, for me, I also having my son, I want to be an example, and I don't want him playing those games really, so I think, of course, like when he gets older, he probably will see what Assassin's Creed is and go, oh, but...
Mommy!
Yeah, Mom. Yeah, I think right now where I like is the animation and the side of things, and more towards the animated video games to align with what I stand for.
And do you still desire to do on camera? Are you auditioning?
Yep, I'm auditioning. I'm actually working a lot with my team and my amazing agents with the comedy side of things. I've done a lot of drama on camera. I played a transgendered teen when I first came on screen, which I wouldn't play now today, but was a good thing back then to give visibility. But yeah, I really want to have a laugh a bit more in my life. Yeah. And I think comedy is something that I've really enjoyed doing. So yeah, I've been auditioning a lot for that stuff on camera, and I hope that will materialize in the near future so I can play on the big screen doing that stuff. Yeah, so that's where my focus is, on camera at the moment. But yeah, very much auditioning for that stuff.
Amazing. So then what is your average day like?
Depending on what time my son gets up. The other day it was 4:38, which was challenging. We're usually up at like 5:30. And yeah, just getting him ready. I'm also part of a female group who meet and study every morning, and we study the teachings of Bob Proctor. So there are a lot of entrepreneurs and millionaire women who are working on their own businesses. So we hold each other accountable, so I do that.
How many women are in that group?
In the morning, there's 6 of us, but in the whole group is, I don't know how many she's got at the moment, maybe like 30, 40, all over the world. A lot of them are based in Canada.
For those that don't know Bob Proctor, he wrote...
You Were Born Rich.
Okay, You Were Born Rich.
And he studied Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
So I like that side of things. And so we do that.
Very famous self-help.
Yeah. It's been good teaching for just looking at how you, like you say, run your day and what activities that you put first and how that kind of builds your life, right? Yeah, the building blocks of each day and how your habits. So I've been very interested in habits for a long time. I actually wrote my undergraduate dissertation on that.
Wow, yeah.
And looking at how habits make you the actor that you are. And that most of the acting methodologies, including Stanislavski and all these other practitioners like Meisner, don't begin to talk about the habits you have acquired in childhood and as a person before you start becoming an actor. So my dissertation was about unpicking that and asking if we looked at the habits that we've acquired first before we then build our skill set and our craft, as it were, how would that affect the actor that we become?
The actor that we become or the characters that we play? Or both?
Well, both. I mean, we do have to look, we only have ourselves, right? Yeah. So we can only use that to translate whatever script and things that we have. Every character that we create is part of us. And that's why I feel like, and I try to say this to the book VOP CAP students, that there's no competition. Like you and I would go up for the same role, but we're never going to do it in the same way. Yours will be amazing and mine will be just a different way of doing it. And it's just really what their team wants, you know? So it doesn't mean that we're in competition. It's just a different interpretation of what it is from your life experience, from who you are, where you grew up and everything that you have to offer to this character. And mine is going to be completely different because of who I am.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are there certain habits that you recommend actors implement?
I think there's certain business habits that are important.
What would you recommend?
Wow, that's a good
Drinking
question.
lots of tea.
Drinking lots of tea.
So much.
I mean, looking after your voice is important. The lifestyle choices and habits that you use for that is, you know, the longevity of your career. Habits, to spend time reading, you know, growing.
Yeah.
Reading for 15 minutes every day, something that's going to nourish you and increase your skill set or your business assets, like making sure that you're doing that, because if you're not growing, you're dying, you know, that is important. Having a goal, you know, if you don't have a goal written down, you have no direction. And I like in Bob Proctor's teachings, he talks about like how he said, I'm going to just go west, you know, I'm going to keep going west. It's like west, but where are you going? You know, you don't have any direction. Like, I'm going to go on a road trip and I'm just going to go west. Well, are you going to, like, where are you going? So having that goal and looking at that goal and having it on you and accessible to just always know the direction that you're going, and each activity that you do in the day, is that moving you towards your goal or away from your goal? Like, what activities are you spending your time doing? Are you procrastinating and doing, you know, all the things that don't need to be done right now? Or are you doing activities that move you towards your goal?
Yeah.
And I think that's a habit that is really important and separates people that have success and results to people that talk about it.
So Bob Proctor studying first thing in the morning, fuel yourself up.
Yeah.
Get
It changes
clear on
my
your
day.
goals.
Yeah, it's a meditation I like to do. Yeah, and then I spend as much time as dependent on the day with my son. And I thankfully have a team at Book VOP Cap, so they, you know, emails with them, auditions, and I don't know, having fun at the park, and just lots of things, staying in touch with my family overseas and trying to get a little workout in.
Yeah.
And definitely spending some time in nature every day, whether it's just going for a walk or just getting out from behind the desk, behind the computer screen, and just being connected.
I definitely find I'm like, I have not left the house in multiple days. Granted, my studio is in the backyard, so I haven't left the house.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I haven't left my property in a long time.
Yeah, so I like to do that every day. That makes
Sounds like you have a
a
good
different
balance.
perspective. I try to, yeah. I think I try to. In the summer, I love to swim as well.
Where do you like to swim?
Just at the pool, you know, in the pool. I love to go in the ocean, but it's so cold here in California.
It is cold.
Yeah.
So are your parents proud of all that you've accomplished in your life?
I would hope so. I would hope so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, as a parent myself, now I think that it's actually more important to be proud of the characteristics of a person.
Yeah.
Who they become than what they achieve.
That's very wise.
I've achieved a lot on paper. You know, from school I got all A's, and I've, you know, been in video games and been on TV and had people say, can I have your autograph? All of those things. But I think for me, the things that I want to work on and I'm always trying to do, and probably failing like lots of people, is just to be a better person, you know, to grow and to be a better example and to connect with others and try and you don't know when you're not going to see somebody again, or you don't know whether that connection is going to lead to anything else or how that's going to affect the rest of their life, you know?
Yeah.
And I would hope to leave a legacy of people that I've interacted with, leaving a good, positive experience and memory with them. That's kind of what I hope for, and I hope my son will do too. And the rest of the stuff is awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love to have success, but I think now that feels more successful to me, to grow and change and be a better person than have more things in the trophy cupboard.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you feel that becoming a mother shifted that feeling for you?
100%. 100%. I think it has to, right? Because before then, you really are focused on yourself. You you don't know any other perspective. And that's okay, because it's good. And then another little human comes along and challenges everything you say and makes you see the world very differently from their fresh eyes and makes you understand what's important. Yeah, I think it has. I think it's changed. It's changed me a lot. I think everybody gets changed a lot being a parent.
I find so much more, like I became a much more empathetic person with my son.
Patient too.
Yeah, it's just, they're so easy. Your heart is so open and they're so easy to love that it's easy to accept, what in yourself might be a flaw. And then you see it in them and it's just the way it is, or they're in process, they're learning, they're growing. And I don't give myself the same grace.
Yeah, that's something that I think every mom needs to be a little bit more kind to themselves. I wish one of my goals is to try and treat myself the way I treat my son. The things I do for him that I would never do for myself, My friend said to me the other day, I'd put a towel in the dryer for him before he got out of the bath. He's like, oh my God, it's like a spa here. I'm like, I know, nobody does that for me. I would like that. But yeah, like you said, they're so easy to love and they give you so much love that it kind of shifts your heart and it shifts really molecularly, it makes you change. So yeah, it's a beautiful, challenging journey.
So you also have a podcast called the Performance Capture Podcast.
I do. And we're just gearing up for season 5.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Yeah, it's great. It's sponsored by Vicon, which I'm so grateful that they support us with it. And we've got some cool guests coming on the show.
So you have a podcast, the Performance Capture Podcast. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So we're on season 5. We're about to launch season 5 in January. It's sponsored by Vicon, and we interview people from animators to directors to performers that work on the performance capture stage and just discuss what we do there and, how we got into it. I always find that really fascinating because it's such a niche market of how people had their first experience. That always makes me excited. We recently had the motion capture director from Lord of the Rings, Remington Scott, who transitioned Andy Serkis from a voiceover role to motion capture.
Wow.
So without him, Gollum would have just been a voice, which would have been great too. But Andy was performing so much incredible movement whilst he was doing this that the whole focus was on who's that voice actor. That they said we have to capture what he's doing, and then he was put in the suit. And I think that was such a iconic moment for performance capture. And yeah, we talked to Deborah Wilson, who's also big in voice acting, about her experience with James Cameron and bringing the Avatar kind of mold and skeleton to life for the Na'vi tribe. Na'vi? How do we say this? Na'vi?
I'm not sure.
For the tribe in Avatar. We all know who they are, the blue people. Yeah, it's really a fun way, I'm sure with this, to get to know people in the industry more and find out their experience and their goals and how they've grown in the industry. So I really enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to season 5.
Yeah. So how many episodes do you do per season?
We just do 8. I don't know how many do you do?
It's a moving target.
Okay. We only do 8. We might start doing more content. I actually have somebody else that I've brought on board as a co-host, so we'll be introducing him in the new year as well, which is very exciting. And we're rebranding and we're changing things up a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more casual than previous seasons, maybe some more fun. So yeah, lots of changes and additions to that.
Where can our listeners find your podcast?
Yeah, we're all across Apple Music and Spotify, most of the podcast platforms, and I think seasons 1 to 3 are on YouTube as well.
The video?
We haven't done video. The next season actually will have video, but it's just you can watch it on there. And
so many more things to worry about.
I know, right?
As we sit here.
I don't think it will be as professionally lit as this. Ours is just a Zoom recording.
Here's the lighting person right here this season. Wow. Well, it's been so amazing having you come on to chat and share your wonderful philosophies on life and your experience working on so many different projects. So
thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for hosting this. This is amazing. And thank you for bringing this to everybody in the industry. I think it's a really valuable resource, and you're just a beautiful person inside and out.
Oh, thank you, Victoria.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week for Alicyn's Wonderland.